Senpai and his colleague are heading out for work rounds, jokingly calling it a date. She's irritated by his loud laugh, towering presence, and constant head patting, finding it all quite annoying. Senpai takes care of his colleague when she's drunk, ensuring she gets home safely. He covers her mistakes at work, apologizing to the boss. When she's stressed, he suggests visiting a bar. Despite finding his laughter loud and annoying, she appreciates his support. Senpai and his colleague are drinking together. She teases him about liking her. He jokes about wanting a daughter like her if he were married. She mumbles something about a wife, and he laughs, saying he just wants to take care of her, but should mind his own business. The colleague, feeling tipsy, questions why she can't be the wife. Senpai notes the alcohol's effect. She quickly snaps back to reality, acknowledging the situation with a simple, yeah. Igarashi is in a bad mood at work, stressed about drunkenly calling Takeda her wife. She vows to clear up the misunderstanding before the day ends. Takeda is invited to lunch by a colleague. Igarashi panics, thinking lunch was her chance. Takeda declines, saying he promised to lunch with Igarashi, who then arrives just in time. Igarashi worries about an earlier incident. Takeda laughs loudly, calling her a clueless kid. Annoyed, Igarashi scolds him for laughing too much. Takeda finds relief in her honesty, while Igarashi remains confused and irritated. Takeda reassures her that she'll find a good guy, attributing her previous comment to alcohol. Annoyed, she rejects his encouragement, calling it unnecessary. He jokes about her needing to grow taller to attract a rich guy, prompting her to bash him in frustration. Despite this, she admits to herself how caring Takeda is. Igarashi struggles to reach the train handle. Takeda teases her about her height, offers a boost and laughs. Igarashi gets annoyed, vowing to grow taller. Meanwhile, the businessman pulls at his collar, leaving the train. Takeda effortlessly throws a man over his shoulder, surprising Igarashi. He apologizes, saying he didn't mean to throw him so hard. Igarashi, shocked, demands, "What are you doing?" Camera is discovered after a man is thrown. Igarashi is shocked and apologizes. Takeda reveals that the man was filming up her skirt. He mentions having a paneled belt in judo, leaving Igarashi unimpressed by the belt's significance. Igarashi questions if it's okay for Takeda, a judo practitioner, to throw a civilian like that. Takeda says he'd rather lose his belt than let her get hurt. Igarashi admits he's a bit cool sometimes, improving her opinion of him. Takeda comments on her appeal to a unique kind of guy, prompting a playful smack. Igarashi walks into the office wondering about the commotion. A colleague asks, "Haven't you checked Twitter, Futaba-chan?" The colleague shows her a viral tweet about Takeda apprehending a voyeur, shocking Igarashi. Takeda gets praised for going viral after throwing a voyeur. Igarashi feels awkward knowing everyone has seen it. Coworkers are buzzing, but she decides not to talk to him, assuming he'll invite her to lunch anyway. Igarashi searches for Takeda but learns he's with a group of girls. She feels alone during lunch, eating by herself. As she's leaving, she sees Takeda with others, leading to quiet contemplation. Takeda praises Igarashi for her work. He pats her head, noticing her slouching. Igarashi is irritated and asks about his dinner plans with other girls. Takeda asks where she wants to eat, suggesting burgers. Igarashi blushes, pulling his hand away. Natsumi shares her breakup story with Futaba over drinks, dumping a boyfriend after his shallow remark about her breasts. Futaba is surprised by the story. Natsumi quickly shifts the focus, asking Futaba about her own love life, catching her off guard. Futaba insists she's not a guy magnet like Natsumi, who smirks and suggests she has a close coworker. Futaba protests, and Natsumi teases her about being too pure. Futaba wonders about dating a coworker, gets flustered thinking of Takeda's laugh, and insists it's not possible. Dreaming of Takeda, Igarashi blushes furiously, recalling his laugh and kindness. She wakes up flustered, muttering, "You could at least let me get some sleep." Takeda orders 5 Hellcat burgers and 3 fries. He asks Igarashi if she wants anything. She notices a toy with a last day sign, indicating a special promotion. Igarashi wants a toy from a kid's meal but feels embarrassed. Takeda orders it for her, ensuring she gets the toy, noticing her desire for it. Igarashi blushes in embarrassment. Train ride ambience, with Igarashi leaning and falling asleep on Takeda's shoulder. Takeda looks calm while another colleague glances over, amused by the scene. Igarashi falls asleep, ends up eating her hair. Takeda notices, comments on how hard she's been working. He gently moves her hair away. In her sleep, she clutches his arm and snuggles closer. Igarashi sleeps on Takeda's shoulder. Colleague suggests waking her, but Takeda lets her rest. Takeda jokingly says he's not a body pillow. Igarashi wakes groggy, and Takeda greets her with a "good morning." Takeda shows Igarashi a picture of her asleep on his shoulder, making her blush furiously. She panics, swipes the phone, seeing the cute caption. Embarrassed, she hits Takeda, who jokingly asks if she has any last words. Igarashi is sick, and a colleague mentions a text about it. Takeda didn't receive it because he doesn't have a smartphone, surprising everyone. Igarashi is shown at home, coughing. Igarashi, feeling alone, battles a cold and hunger. Struggling to move and needing food, she staggers to the kitchen. Meanwhile, masked Natsumi shows up unexpectedly. Takeda visits sick Igarashi, bringing food and energy drinks. Igarashi, touched by the gesture, acknowledges it's easy to catch a cold this time of year. Takeda tells her to eat and rest to get well soon. Igarashi tugs his sleeve, a silent gesture of gratitude. Igarashi, feeling weak and lonely due to her cold, wishes for someone to cook for her. Takeda, visiting her, gently pats her head and reassures her. They end up peacefully sleeping together under the moonlight. Igarashi looks tired, is called by Takeda. He greets her casually with a "yo," while she stands blushing at the doorway. Futaba helps Takeda get a smartphone on their day off. Futaba insists he needs it to know if she gets sick again. A salesperson assumes Takeda is shopping for his daughter, causing Futaba to blush. Takeda buys a smartphone with Futaba's help. Grateful, he calls her a lifesaver. Futaba warns him to only use it for work calls. Takeda grins, happy they can now contact each other anytime. Futaba insists they exchange contact info. Takeda struggles with his new phone, takes a selfie by accident. Futaba laughs, helps him. He promises to return the favor if she ever gets sick. Takeda finally gets a smartphone but struggles to send a text asking Kazama for help. Kazama is surprised by Takeda's lack of familiarity and guides him, while a colleague fidgets nearby. Igarashi hides her screen when Sakurai asks what she's looking at. She claims it's just a bear picture, but it's actually Takeda's phone number. Sakurai, amused, grabs the phone, revealing Takeda finally has a smartphone. Igarashi panics, trying to retrieve it. Igarashi blushes while adding Takeda's number, claiming she's just updating contacts. A colleague teases her, thinking she heard about Takeda's new smartphone. Igarashi panics, grabs her phone back, saying, "It's not cool to look at other people's phones." The colleague finds her transparent as glass and laughs, apologizing for doubting her. Igarashi blushes at a message from Takeda. Takeda celebrates sending a text while a colleague jokingly comments on his slow progress. Takeda's message simply reads, "Thanks." Futaba is struggling with an assignment, feeling overwhelmed. A colleague asks if she's okay. Futaba reassures them with a smile, saying, "Oh, I'm fine. Sorry to worry you." Igarashi, feeling gloomy and staggering, catches Takeda's attention. Kazama, uncertain about Takeda, watches as Igarashi perks up upon seeing him. Takeda greets her with a cheerful "yo" and asks her to put out her hand. Takeda tosses a can of Oshiruko to Igarashi, telling her it's for her and not to overdo it. She blushes, watching him walk away. Igarashi opens a can of Oshiruko, hesitates, then takes a sip. She blushes and tears up, finding it sweet, both literally and emotionally. Igarashi returns to the office to find Takeda asleep at his desk. Surprised, she whispers to herself and observes him silently. Igarashi finds Takeda sleeping at his desk, surprised. She notices he's working on the materials for her challenging assignment. Realizing he's taking care of it for her, she clutches her chest, silently questioning why he's doing so much. Igarashi, blushing, questions why Takeda is so kind to her despite feeling worthless. Takeda, having dozed off, wakes up surprised, realizing he has fallen asleep at work. Takeda finds a can of tea with a note from Igarashi. "You're working too hard." Realizing she saw his paperwork, he blushes. Another note reads, "Thank you very much. Udon's on me next time." Takeda and Igarashi attempt to win a toy from a claw machine. Takeda can't distinguish between the toys, while Igarashi insists on getting a specific one, Nyorokichi. She urges Takeda to keep trying, despite his doubts about their chances. Futaba receives a gacha capsule from Takeda, claiming expertise. Inside, it's Nyorokichi. Excited, she explains the secret spot makes it rare. Despite Takeda's confusion, she convinces him to try more times. Takeda notices a child shivering and suggests she looks cold. The child admits losing her scarf. Takeda, feeling the cold himself, realizes the situation. Takeda offers his scarf to a cold child. Concerned about him being cold, the child asks, "But won't you be cold?" Takeda responds with a smile, "Nope, I was born in snow country." Igarashi gives her scarf to a grateful child. She regrets it, feeling cold, and plans to buy hand warmers. Suddenly, Takeda's coat covers her, surprising Igarashi. Takeda calls Igarashi a good person for giving her scarf to a cold child. Igarashi blushes and makes him promise not to tell. He teases her, noting her popularity will rise. Igarashi playfully hits him, trying to stop his teasing. Kazuma makes origami during lunch break. He creates a flower, impressing a colleague who didn't know about his hobby. Someone finds leftover origami paper, and Kazuma is admired for his skill. Kazama is good at making origami and plans to throw them away. Takeda, impressed, takes one to not waste them. Igarashi, amazed by Kazama's skill, excitedly asks to take some as well. Igarashi is surprised Kazama is throwing away his cute origami. Asking to take them all, she says they're too cute to discard. Blushing, Igarashi quickly gathers them, saying, "Harvest time." A colleague notes her love for cute things. Kazama gives permission, replying, "It's no problem." Igarashi thanks him and takes her leave. Igarashi and Takeda create origami at work. Igarashi blushes, focusing on her paper star. Takeda holds up his origami animals, showcasing a cute cat and a bear with thick eyebrows. Igarashi, dressed in a Santa outfit, gives Takeda a gift. Takeda laughs uncontrollably at her cuteness. Igarashi, embarrassed, tells him to stop laughing and gets annoyed at colleagues snapping pictures. Takeda apologizes while grinning. Igarashi, dressed as Santa, laments about her work clothes. Takeda laughs, commenting on the warmth of the Santa suit. He then tells Igarashi he wants to give her something, leaving her puzzled. Takeda hands Igarashi a gift. He reminds her she gave her scarf to a girl recently. Surprised, Igarashi realizes Takeda knows about it. Takeda gives Igarashi a gift, saying, "It's a Christmas present from me." Igarashi, in her Santa outfit, is surprised and flustered, exclaiming, "Pretty funny that I'm giving a gift to Santa!" Igarashi is surprised to see someone she knows and realizes that he might be the person who gave the scarf to Takeda. Kazama notices her reaction. Igarashi is flustered and suggests they go somewhere else to avoid him. Natsumi introduces herself to Takeda, thanking him for everything he does for Futaba. She embarrasses Futaba by revealing she rants about him and was happy about the scarf. Futaba exclaims, "Stop it!" and yells she'll never speak to Natsumi again. Natsumi, laughing, leaves them to enjoy their time together. Takeda reassures Igarashi that ranting to friends is normal. He comments that Igarashi's friend is impressive. Both pray at a shrine, and Igarashi shyly calls out to Takeda. Igarashi hopes for another good year together, blushing. Takeda agrees, saying, "Me too." Igarashi and Takeda run into each other at a ramen shop in Takeda's neighborhood. Igarashi enjoys the food, surprised to see how much Takeda eats there. Later, they are at a shrine for New Year's. A segment is interviewing couples, and Sakurai and Kazama are mistaken as one. Kazama looks resigned, saying he was dragged there, while Sakurai confidently states, "We're definitely a couple." Kazama and Sakurai pretend to be just bored, letting each other tag along. Takeda and Igarashi discuss how colleague tension vanished as they watched the pair drawing fortunes at a shrine. Takeda enjoys a story of Kazama and someone sleeping on him on a train. Igarashi teases about their closeness, warning Kazama. Igarashi leaves the ramen shop abruptly to return to the shrine. Takeda gets a message from Kazama suggesting he's up to something and makes Takeda curious. The ramen arrives. Igarashi is startled and embarrassed about something being filmed. Takeda wonders what's happening. Takeda is asked if Igarashi is a relative. He explains she's a junior employee. The old man notes she's tiny. Takeda smiles, acknowledging she's really cute. Igarashi is happy, holding a great luck fortune. Kazama intensely plays a video game, grumbling and focused. Natsumi relaxes, sipping her drink. Kazama loses the game, resulting in a dramatic "you lose" on the screen, followed by a comical outcry. Natsumi watches Kazama struggle against a tough player in a game. Frustrated, Kazama hasn't won once. Takeda is impressed by Kazama's undefeated streak, which Kazama attributes to the other player being bad. Natsumi calls Futaba, receiving a loud, startled reaction. Futaba yells at Natsumi for scaring her. Natsumi nonchalantly asks about her day. Natsumi calls Futaba about not enjoying the day. Futaba, flustered, complains about getting ditched at the shrine and getting into trouble. Kazama teases Futaba, suggesting she liked a guy, causing her to react with, "Huh?" Igarashi is flustered over a call and denies any special feelings, insisting she talks to Takeda more than anyone else. Her friend smirks, saying, "I never said anything about Takeda-senpai," causing Igarashi to hang up angrily and toss her phone, fuming. Futaba is frustrated with Natsumi, calling her a jerk. She wrestles with her feelings, unsure if she likes Takeda. Her emotions remain unresolved as she clutches a pillow, feeling uncertain and flustered. Takeda wakes up coughing, takes his temperature, 38.2 degrees Celsius, and realizes he's caught a bug. Sakurai checks on him. Takeda is out with a cold. Igarashi is asked if she'll nurse him back to health. She declines, questioning why she would. Igarashi is reminded to not get sick herself and thanks her colleague for the concern. Takeda feels ill and realizes he overexerted himself during New Year's. The fridge is empty, so he plans a difficult trip to the store, despite coughing. Igarashi appears at the door, surprised to see him. Igarashi shows up to help sick Takeda, knowing his fridge is likely empty. She nervously explains she's repaying the favor from when he helped her. Igarashi prepares food for a sick Takeda, emphasizing thorough chewing and plenty of spring onions and ginger. Takeda finds the meal delicious, impressing Igarashi. He smirks, teasing her about making a good wife, leaving her blushing. Igarashi watches Takeda sleep, thinking he looks peaceful. She hopes her help repaid him, feeling a bit embarrassed. Igarashi reacts to Takeda's chin stubble, feeling uneasy and exclaiming it makes her skin crawl. Takeda wakes up confused, asking her what she's doing. Igarashi is embarrassed. Igarashi stomps off, embarrassed, after Takeda catches her chopping at his stubble. She reflects, "He caught me, and what was I even doing? That sucked!" Takeda, lying in bed, thinks about the delicious food, wishing she'd cook for him again. Kazama and Sakurai greet each other. Takeda casually checks in with Igarashi. Igarashi flinches but warmly greets Takeda, expressing relief about his recovery. Takeda ruffles Igarashi's hair, causing her to blush and protest. He thanks her for checking on him and expresses appreciation. Igarashi is left flustered and surprised. Igarashi is flustered when her colleagues mention her visiting Takeda while he was sick. She panics, denying intentions, blurting out for them to stop talking. Kazama teases Takeda about Igarashi going to his house, and Takeda confirms she took care of him. Igarashi, overwhelmed, is embarrassed about it all. Igarashi blushes as Takeda praises her cooking. She insists it's embarrassing but admits she might cook again. Takeda casually requests a Hamburg steak, surprising her. A peaceful moment unfolds as a girl with a warm smile looks down at a boy sleeping on her lap. Patches on his face hint at recent trouble, but her gentle expression brings calm. A frustrated girl with a paddle attempts to swat away an approaching hand. She swings with vigor, generating a powerful whoosh and evoking a startled "Ahm!" A boy wakes up on a bench, greeted by a smiling girl. She teases him, saying, "You never do learn, do you?" Sakurai wakes up on a bench with his head on a girl's lap. She accuses him of looking at her breasts. He admits it. She admires his honesty. He mentions backing up a picture on the cloud. She teases him, saying his ninja skills couldn't save it from getting deleted. Kazama is downloading from the cloud. Sakurai asks why he joined her, and he replies it's because she wouldn't stop bugging him. Sakurai knowingly questions if that's the only reason. Sakurai teases Kazama for being with her on New Year's Day instead of gaming. Kazama, bandaged and indifferent, responds with yes and while remaining silent. Kazama suggests Sakurai had many suitors, calling himself boring. Sakurai chooses to spend time with Kazama, saying it's preferable to being alone. She figured it would be more fun. Kazama asks for tea, realizing awkwardly that Sakurai had her lap occupied for a long time. They agree to get drinks as he reflects on their interaction. Girl asks a man why Sakurai invited him along, suspecting they might be more. He clarifies they're co-workers and friends. Girl is surprised, questioning if they're not dating. Man responds simply with co-workers. Boy admits he likes a girl but feels she's out of his league and unsure of her feelings. His sister enthusiastically hands him a toy camera, urging, "Look at this!" Sister excitedly shows her brother something. A woman returns, complimenting the cute girl, and is greeted with a "Welcome back." The girl presents a strange item to the woman, who finds it suspicious. The brother, confused, watches as the woman reacts silently. Girl blushes intensely at a picture, forbids the guy from ever looking at it. Guy says, "Okay, I won't." She demands, "Did you see this, Kazama-kun?" He clarifies she grabbed it first. Girl angrily protests a cute photo of herself, demanding deletion. Boy questions the issue. She insists it's everything. Determined, she exclaims, "You're darn right I am!" as she deletes it. Igarashi Futaba introduces herself as a new coworker. Colleagues clap and comment on her cuteness, calling her crazy adorable. Igarashi thanks Sakurai for help. She is introduced to her new desk. In a friendly manner, Sakurai asks Igarashi if she can call her Igarashi-chan. Igarashi is caught off guard. Sakurai finds Igarashi cute due to her small stature. Igarashi insists she's a grown adult despite her youthful appearance, asking not to be treated like a child. Futaba attempts to buy a drink, while Sakurai is told she's too forward. Futaba admires Sakurai's figure, lamenting her own lack of growth. Accidentally, she bumps into someone, surprised by how hard they are. Man at vending machine surprises Futaba with his size. She apologizes for not watching where she was going. He warmly offers to help her buy juice. She nervously requests Oshiruko. Man helps Futaba by tossing her an Oshiruko can from the vending machine, nervously thanks him. Futaba drinks Oshiruko with relief, thinking her colleague seems decent. He mentions being late and thirsty. He jokes about her looking like she's on a school trip. Futaba nervously realizes she forgot to introduce herself. Guy hears about middle school students visiting for career day. He mistakes a coworker for a student, telling her to eat well and grow big. He pats her on the head, leaving her annoyed. As he departs, she sits frustrated, glowing with irritation. Futaba glares angrily, feeling small. Colleague jokes about middle school kids. Kazama misunderstands, thinking Futaba is the student. Takeda is summoned, leaving Kazama confused. Kazama returns and asks if Igarashi encountered something. Seeing her rage, he retracts the question, apologizing. A colleague notes the tense atmosphere, realizing Kazama messed up. Takeda is late and assigned to train new employee Igarashi. She is flustered during introductions. Igarashi angrily apologizes for being small. Takeda is puzzled by the situation, slightly acknowledging confusion. Boss reassures Igarashi, reminding her Takeda is her mentor and proposes cooperation for the company's benefit. Igarashi, irritated, playfully asks to trade mentors but is refused. Igarashi insists she's not mad, but Takeda checks in anyway. He admits needing her help. She sighs but accepts, saying, "Takeda-senpai." Determined, she proposes working together. Igarashi complains about Takeda being annoying. Takeda laughs it off, saying it was a long time ago. Igarashi ponders calling him Takeda-san instead of Takeda-senpai. Takeda is fine with either. Igarashi decides to call him Takeda-san, but stumbles over the name. Takeda is confused. Igarashi feels embarrassed, realizing calling him Takeda-san is awkward for her. Igarashi jokes about not changing how she addresses Takeda. Takeda reflects on his tiny jokes and appreciates her growth. Igarashi acknowledges his help despite her attitude, and Takeda admits putting her through challenges. Igarashi, blushing and drinking, expresses gratitude. Takeda, amused, notices she's drunk.